Oh, I like the different angle.
POVs, man. You see a lot of them, so you start getting ideas
Mm-hmm.
about what to do with the lighting and all that. I haven't
Yeah,
eaten, so I will be eating some tacos while we're
that's
conversing.
fine. I'm waiting for some pad thai.
Mm. All right, so we'll start light. What's your what's your position on the religious political placing of the Muslim religion in the Middle Eastern politics?
Wait, what? Can you repeat that?
What's your opinion of the religious political positioning of Muslims in the Middle East?
While starting it off very lightly, I
Very
think.
light,
And just
tiptoeing.
casual banter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it depends. Depends on where it is. Depends on what you're like generally talking about because that's
Um,
such a
Iran and
big.
their treatment of non-Muslim people.
Oh, so like I think in those spheres in that culture, they have a word for non-believer. I don't want to say it because
Because then
it's
the
a
FBI is kicking down
no,
our
no,
door.
like saying it here is fine, but in South Africa it's a slur for black people. It's like our
Oh,
N-word.
okay, fair enough. Okay, so my question is that because of the culture or is that because of the religion?
Okay, first that's the word. I typed
Hmm,
it in the chat.
I see.
Um
I will not
and
repeat it.
that
Just
means like
abbreviation.
someone who's going against God.
Hmm.
And then if you look in the dictionary, there's that's number one, and then number two is derogatory. It says in italics, a term for a black person in South Africa.
I'm sure there's like some history behind that transition.
Yeah, there definitely is. Mm, but I'm not. I don't want to go into that right now. But
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
with the treatment of non-religious,
Yeah.
a-religious people, like
Hmm.
it's weird because like if you think about it, in the 70s, Iran was like popping. It was pretty
Yeah.
westernized. Same with
Hmm.
Afghanistan. Like
Hmm.
earlier, they used to be like super. I
Modern.
wouldn't say advanced, but they were definitely. Um, no, I'm gonna take my stance on it because like a religious society plunges everything into a backwards
Yeah.
society, especially if you go full on fundamentalist.
Hmm.
Like um, it depends on where you are in the Islamic world. They will treat you differently because, for example, in Dagestan and Chechnya
Hmm.
and Albania and Bosnia, where they are generally white Muslims, like white Muslim areas slash countries, um, they have a more adaptive approach because okay, I'm not gonna say about Chechnya and Dagestan, but definitely Albania and Bosnia because of the Ottoman Empire and like a lot of their I guess integration
Hmm.
of religion and peoples. So
Hmm.
like um, the Ottoman Empire kind of allowed a lot of they allowed a religious people and Christians and Jews to mingle, but of course Muslims had priority over non-Muslims. but there was still a more or less functioning society. So they let the Kurds be the Kurds. They let the Egyptians be Egyptian. The Wahhabis in Saudi Arabia do what they want.
You're implying that Islam as a religion is by design intolerant, and that Christian
I'm not implying
influence.
anything, because yeah, they tried to maintain an Islamic state because, dude, the Ottoman Empire's flag is a fucking crescent moon. It's the same. I think it's similar to the Turkish flag. I think the Turkish flag just kind of tweaked it a little, but
Yeah.
more or less that's the Ottoman Empire, just small, compact. And I think I wouldn't say it's a problem with Islam, because I think all religions have that um, potential of intolerance and having a form where they create an other. So
Are you sure though?
basically, the other is someone for the populace to hate.
So how would a Buddhist go about something like that?
Well, I don't know much about the religion. I know about some of the philosophy and I know a bit of the history, but I'm not too well versed. I just know that in Myanmar they are using the fact that um, that Muslims generally are extremist and violent, and so they're justifying killing and uh, I guess extraditing, because like they're basically like forcing the Rohingya Muslims into Bangladesh, which is already like population wise very like concentrated. I think Bangladesh is like in the top 5 world populations. It's like, I think, after Indonesia, I think, or after Japan, maybe. But I mean, Bangladesh is tiny.
Yeah.
So, and I also know, like, with the Buddhist, well, not Buddhist really, but China, but that's not really, that's something different.
Wait, so you're saying that it's a retaliation then? The way
I wouldn't say it's a retaliation. I would say that they're using the fact that they're using their religion as a scapegoat to say, "Oh yeah, they're attacking our religion. They're violent. They don't believe the same stuff we do. They're other people. We hate them." I mean, it happens a lot throughout
okay.
history.
Okay,
But
so here's the question then. Is does Islam promote violence, and those that aren't violent are actually not obeying their faith to the letter? That doesn't, because correct me if I'm wrong,
not
but
exactly.
doesn't Islam reward killing those of other faiths with, like, the 74 virgins and all that?
I think that's like completely wrong. It's because I think the Wahhabis are the most I guess that's what I heard. The Wahhabis of Saudi Arabia are the most extreme, but
Oh,
it depends. Like Sunnis
let's
and
talk about
Shias
them.
hate each other.
I was going to say, let's talk about the most influential. Which sect, I guess, branch is actually in charge of government, mostly in the Middle East? I know it's between the Shias, as you mentioned, and the other one. But because public policy and all that is controlled by the government, regardless.
90% of the world's Muslims are Sunni, and
Mhm.
that's the Sunnis are everyone except Iran and parts of Afghanistan. I think the
What is
one
the
is
difference?
because yeah, the one follows the teachings of the nephew of Muhammad.
Mhm.
That's the Sunnis, and then the Shias follow the disciples.
Oh, okay. Where do you fall there?
Yeah, I roll my mat out facing east,
Facing Mecca, right?
facing Mecca. Yes.
Well, it's because we live on a sphere. It doesn't matter what direction you're facing, right? Like you can
Oh
always
yeah,
angle.
okay, sure, but I
Mhm.
guess American Muslims face east and a bit south.
Hmm, that's interesting.
But
No,
there are places in the world where Christians and Muslims easily can live together. Like that's
I'm I'm
pretty tolerant.
sure I'm sure those neighbors don't know how
I'm saying
lucky.
places like there are places um like parts of Iraq and Syria where it's the Kurds. They they generally I think then you get a third variant, or not a third but another variant of like togetherness. It's not religion that brings people together but nationality, and that's
Mhm.
like a new or identity.
I've
So
heard
it
a
all
lot of
depends.
horror stories of like Middle Eastern Christians who, they have to leave their country. Like, for example, um, uh, a doctor that I know, he would tell me this story of whenever he would apply for a job, right? Instead of asking for his experience, his specialty, they would ask questions like, who is the third prophet and things like that. It's pretty much nothing to do with his actual skill as a doctor. And he's a very good doctor. Um, and so he's like, this is why I had to leave the country. Like it's unbearable over there. So that's why I'm asking. It's things like that where religion starts to overtake public like life to that extent that I find disturbing. And either it's policy because politics, or it's policy because the religion encourages those policies.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I think because of a recent nationalization and
Mhm,
like very stringent Islamic wave
mhm.
that's been happening recently.
It's been
Because,
happening for years. I think it's
oh,
like
I
it's
would
a
say
wave, like you
recently
mentioned.
in like a geopolitical sense, like I would say around the 60s, 70s,
Mhm.
that's when it like really hit, when
Yeah,
people were like, okay, people, we're becoming infidels ourselves. We're not following the prophet, blah blah blah. And I mean, shit, it's kind of stupid in my opinion, because similar stuff happened with Christianity.
did it though?
Well, when you regress to such a point, oof. I just got the text from the girl I'm seeing,
Oh my.
and then yeah, saying like she's asking like what are we doing. Ugh.
You're like, well, I'm about to smash. I don't know about you.
No, like because
uh,
I like I don't know, fuck, like
oh wait, she was asking that in the emotional way. Like, what are you two?
mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you meant like activity.
No, like
What
because
are you doing?
like I want to leave in October,
Bro.
but until October, that's a long time. So I don't know. Like if she doesn't want to if she feels like that, then I guess I need to be single. Fuck, I've already told you. I've already told you that I need to be single, but then I mean, your boy needs to do something.
Needs to be a boy.
And
Oh,
I don't like I'm not fond of just having non-emotional sex. So like I know like we're talking about about Islam and Muslims and stuff, but like that text threw me off, dude.
well, why don't you try explaining to her the situation? Like, I will be possibly living in October. I would like to pursue you until then, but just know that in October, I don't know, I cannot see past that at the
Yeah,
moment.
I'm not. I might be a different person. I
Yeah,
might want to stay. I
yeah,
might want to
exactly.
do my master's here. She keeps on telling me that she wants to leave as well. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Mm. I think you should do what you did once before. Get on that roller coaster, put down the seat belt to make sure you're in an upright position, and let it go wherever it may.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at because I don't want things to be too serious right now. Um like maybe if by graduation,
Mhm.
which is like June, that's a decent amount of time to be with someone.
What
If
what
by
do you define as too
graduation, like
serious, though?
what?
What do you define as too serious?
Like at the moment, fuck. Just saying I love you
Okay,
and um
fair. That
like
is serious.
actually buying stuff together.
Okay, and is it that? Yeah,
Too
that's
serious, like
it's
that's serious. But
yeah,
too
no.
serious is like starting to think of living together,
Okay,
um renting a place together, getting an animal, thinking of raising a child. That's way too much. I do not want that. Wait, I might be back. I think this is my food.
okay,
Give me
yeah.
one second. Yes. Thank you. Got, I got it.
Is that good? Good.
Yep. I was feeling pad thai, and
Nice.
so I got some pad thai. Anyway, back
Speaking of
to
hentai, yeah.
back to Middle Eastern Islam stuff.
Mm.
I don't know why I got my lighter. I can open
Um,
this.
do you know who Sam Harris is?
No.
He's an atheist who I was first introduced to him when I saw him debate Jordan Peterson on just religion, right? Atheist versus religion. It's a great back and forth, actually, if you ever feel like being entertained. But the point is, I saw him, Sam Harris, and Bill Maher uh, debate against Islam in particular. He said, Sam Harris, he's like, as an atheist, I would much prefer the worst Christian over the best Muslim, and he's like, and that's because of a certain what do you call it, practices hardwired, or he said something like written into the Quran itself. It's like things that cannot be questioned or changed because of the nature of what it is. Because that's like a point of pride, right? To Muslims, it's like our book, our holy book is literally unchanged. It's in the same language that it was written. That's the same one we have to this day. Um, and in those terms of like the unflexibility of changing hurts it modernly, that which they argue is an advantage Christianity has, that because it's more flexible than it is able to pivot with the times, like
I see.
Yeah.
I apologize for the mukbang element that
I was gonna say, is this ASMR moment?
mukbang ASMR. Well, I get that. Mm. I used to think like that
Mhm.
for a while, but like thinking of it in terms of as a political tool, um, like because religion is bottom line a political tool.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a great example of that is Emperor Constantine, the way he kind of merged a lot of pagan things with Christianity. The Council at Nancius. No, this is not. This is all propaganda made by the left. Or
No. It's a good example,
yeah.
but the best example is Islam.
Oh, okay.
Islam is
Oh,
the
yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. They straight up took over their regional government. Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
because there were a lot of more rural people
Mm.
who were mostly complacent and like they had deep rooted religious opinions, beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
and these were places that um, have been for years. I mean, during the Ottoman Empire, things were generally all right because
Okay.
of the interconnectedness, but
Mm-hmm.
there was also was a like a rotten behavior as well because there wasn't good infrastructure. People like yeah, the Ottomans ruled, but ruling such a huge portion of land is impossible. So like
Wait, if that's true, how did Genghis Khan do it?
they didn't. They just like went over the place and like there was basically an empire for few couple of years and then boom, a generation later
After he died.
his yeah, after Genghis Khan died, his followers they just split off into
No.
different parts.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, here's speaking of Genghis Khan, tangent real quick. So Genghis Khan killed so many people that he literally lowered the carbon footprint of humanity on the earth, right?
Mhm.
So arguably he's been more evil than Hitler, right? He's killed way more people for lesser reasons, arguably, give or take. But the point is, at what point will humanity see Hitler the way it sees Genghis Khan? Like, is that just a time thing? Like, just because Hitler is closer to modern times, so his evil is more documented, so it stays in memory much longer.
No,
Um,
I don't think so. Because what Hitler did was a more inhumane thing.
okay.
Because back in the days of the Khan himself, it was more of a kill or be killed type of scenario. And I mean, yeah, it was like brutal, but you kind of expect it with ongoing wars and like people dying early and stuff like that. And then when we get to a more modern society, then treating humans like the way the Nazis treated the Jews and gay people and black people and communists and all that. It's just like, I guess there was a point in time when people realized that all this war and all this development that we have, there is a sense of camaraderie in humans. And like, I think after First World War, there was Geneva Conventions, there were conventions and
The Paris Accords, right?
Paris Accords. Yeah, all these like rules, because I think even before that they attempted to minimize. There was a certain point where they attempted to minimize civilian casualty, um, because that was like war rules, and I guess
Yeah, but those war rules really just apply to big countries. Places like the Middle East, they don't respect it at all. They just do whatever. Same with I think the Vietnam War. The Vietnamese just did whatever they could.
well, against the US, who
Like, yeah, I was gonna say, like, well, you have to see who they were up against. Like, could they have really had any chance of playing by the rules?
the US definitely broke some. There's a
Some,
it broke a lot.
a lot. Like some, it's like they don't play that. They're not playing the same game. Jesus Christ! It's like everyone's trying to play baseball and they're playing basketball. It's like, come, you're what are you doing, guy? Um, but at the highest level, countries like China, Russia, and things like that, wouldn't you say that they are playing a different game?
There's a good piece by I guess political scientist called, his name is Mearsheimer.
Mhm.
Actually, after our conversation, I'm gonna continue reading that. Um, Talking about power, basically power. Uh, um, like he argues that, like, there's a lot of other politicians that use. I think Mearsheimer also uses the Peloponnesian War as a great example, where there's an established power, and um, then there's coming a new power that challenges the established power.
Okay.
And now the two have to kind of fight in a battle of attrition to see who's the dominant power, because they don't have the man. They can't afford to just go at each other fully. So they do like these either skirmishes or economic deals, like with China and the US, or the during the Cold War. So like there's that. And the Peloponnesian War was the great example of Athens being the established power in Greece, and then Sparta being a rising power that challenges Athens's authority, and that's what's happening with China and the U.S.
Mm. So you think this is just a challenge of power, and these challenges of powers really only go one way? But what? Okay, aren't you failing to take into account China's I don't know what to call it, mismanagement of their own population? I guarantee you, all their growth is due to their ridiculous population growth and their rule of one baby. since it takes a guy and a girl to make a baby, right? So they need to have at least two kids to replace themselves in the population, right? But because of this, just okay, everyone can only have one kid. um Literally their entire workforce is going to go into retirement within the next, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, and their working population is gonna be the it's going to be like five people trying to sustain 50. We're talking ratios. It's just going to be so disproportionate, and they don't know how to fix that because I think they've allowed recently like two kids instead of one. uh, but this is such a generational like problem. It's so slow that the culture, it's so embedded in their heads now, like, oh, one kid is ideal. um, that I doubt they're going to be able to fix it in time for them to just reverse course basically and recover. Because if you look at their have you seen those population graphs, right? Like where they show at the very top is the elderly, the middle is everyone, most people, and at the very bottom are babies. um Theirs looks it looks very disproportionate, and their biggest population is starting to creep into the top of the pyramid, the top of the graph, which is it's gonna be like an upside down triangle basically. In a while. And India, on the other hand, is doing what they did back in the 90s. There's that sneaking suspicion that they're going to be the new China around that time. Just in terms of economic growth, and they're finally going to industrialize much better. They are starting to get more political. I mean, didn't they have like a thing with Kashmir just the other year? So they're starting to exert some military power around them, which is a sign of power, but it's also like a dick move because Kashmir is really not that threatening to them. But I guess, right? Although, didn't they have like a serious altercation with China? Like it almost came to nukes. Like not that long. Yeah, India.
Mm, I don't think it would have come to nukes, but it definitely there were a few Chinese killed and like
Yeah,
one or two Indians killed.
yeah. So I would agree with you if it weren't for that like population problem. It's really hard to ignore. Like I would credit like 80 to 90% of their success specifically to their just ridiculous workforce.
Mm.
Bro, how can you say that? Oh, come on. What, you're gonna give it to good old like ingenuity? Is that it? Like a good old hard work? What's the
India,
sauce?
like, I mean, um, it's more of a cultural thing, I feel, because India's population is also huge. Their GDP is nowhere close to China. If you use that logic, then you would say any country that has a huge population should have a good economy. So looking at, like, I think the third most populous country is Indonesia. Um, they're not exactly the best of
Okay,
countries.
to that, I would say the reason China grew so much is because of the cheap labor, their people, right? And a combination of that and their government tying up foreign investments into their economy so that it's near impossible to pull that money out once it's invested into China, unless you have like some kind of leverage with the government. So once that becomes too unbearable, uh, India, which has a very similar like big population, can swoop with that the exact same thing. That's what I'm saying. Like it's such a simple but effective way to grow economically. If the labor is cheap enough and distribution, and India has much better relations, being democracy, quote unquote, that I think that once people realize like this is better for me economically, they'll switch. Because I think even Sony, like a pretty well-known big company, has not been able to pull out a penny from China, even though it has Sony stores in China. Like it's been allowed to open franchise in China. But that's it. Like that's where it stops. They haven't been able to like pull out any money, investment or otherwise. I mean, which is brilliant on the Chinese government. Like Jesus Christ, like they're using every trick in the economic book that they can get. Who can blame them, right? Being oppressed and choosing the wrong type of government, communism. Like, please, if I'm not mistaken, I think that failed pretty badly early on in its implementation. So either they didn't do it right or communism sucks. I'm leaning towards both as the cause.
I feel you kind of trapped me in this because like I want to give like very well thought out arguments that have been read, and like there is definitely merit to your argument, but it's not fully there because you can't there's never just one reason as to why something is like this, especially on a global scale between powers and China and the US and India. It's it's very hard to just say, oh yeah, it's because of that. Because yeah, that could be a reason why it's doing all right, but that is definitely not the only reason.
So you're saying is in about 10 years when I say I told you so, we're gonna have this conversation on record. And then I'm gonna be like, remember when you told me it wasn't that just that one reason? Bam.
Hey, look,
I just feel like you're right. If China was a democracy, quote unquote, then the economic, social, like influences would have to be a lot more subtle, so it wouldn't look like straight up imperialism. But because it is a communist regime, they are free to pretty much whip out their dick and say, "What are you going to do about it? We're communists. We don't play by your rules by just by design."
I mean,
and no one can say anything.
Like they're with their Belt and Road initiatives, even though yeah, it's very touch and go with most of it. It's still like impacting a lot, and they have a lot more ties than India. So a lot of countries across the world, especially in Africa, they are looking to China as an economic daddy almost.
Damn, but Africa got the shaft the worst out of all the colonized, all the imperialism. Like I took some time to really look at why Africa was so I don't know, economically like just stunted. Jesus Christ, they were imperialized to hell, like, and it was just it would like they were imperialized so hard that when other countries pulled out, it hurt them because they were so like it was so ingrained into you only survive because you have this external economic support, and you wouldn't be able to support yourself otherwise. And we're going to make sure you can't support yourself otherwise. So when they did pull out, because modern times, it was like, oh shit, we like exactly what we planned. Yeah, like this is what we planned against.
Yeah, as soon as these their fathers, colonial dads,
pulled out. No, yeah, it's
as soon as the parents went, the the new established countries were kind of like the fish in Finding Nemo when they escaped the aquarium. They were like, now what?
Yeah,
Because
no, exactly.
the countries that the Europeans created were completely already conflict ridden. So like there wasn't anymore really an other to pull together
Yes.
against.
Yeah.
And the idea of like nationalism isn't really a huge thing in Africa.
Right. It's like on the one hand it's good, but on the other hand it's bad, right? Like on the world stage it's bad, but on the local stage, no, wait, the other way around. The point is, if people don't come together, then they don't get they don't scream loud enough on the world stage. But if, yeah, and they also don't get along at the local levels. But at the same time, you know, a lot of them have their own like traditions, beliefs, tribes, languages. Jesus Christ, like just in one country, like I've seen that there's like 5 or 6 different tribes, languages, cultures, basically just stuck together, and they don't get along. And I think throughout the years that some of them have come close to like getting along, but it just never fully like goes through. And I mhm.
My curiosity got the better of me because she texted me back. So it was very anticlimactic. I had a feeling it was gonna be something weird. She said, so what are we doing? And then I was like, what do you mean? And then she just said, I love that song. Apparently it's a song by Egoism.
Okay, do you think A, she's playing it off because she didn't get the answer she wanted, or B, that was honest? That's what she honestly meant.
Honestly, like at the moment, I don't care. Like I'm just enjoying my pad thai. I'm, I'm
So you're not trying to complicate things for yourself.
nope, nope. I enjoy her company, but I know that I don't know if I want to be serious with this girl because, um, yeah, I'm not gonna divulge any personal
No,
stuff.
I concede that there is a wisdom in wanting to be peaceful, like not wanting to create waves, you know, not wanting trouble. But it's been my experience that girls want decisiveness, or else they'll go somewhere else for the decisiveness.
That's what happened with me and Veronica. Hey,
Giggity. Damn, yeah, honestly.
I feel like her name is almost every time we talk, her name has to be brought up at least once. But I feel, like I want to tell you exactly what, like, because the thing is, I'm in a class called The Rise of China, and like this entire weekend, I am planning to like do all the readings that I haven't done yet. I have to prepare for my final, which is um, due on Monday. Like I'll know what it is on Sunday,
Okay.
but I won't. Yeah, I'll know what it is on Sunday, but I do want to have the readings behind my back, just so that I can be confident in writing. And
Confidence
also,
is
I have a
key.
fucking research paper that's due
Mm.
about China and Africa and South Africa's relations.
Wow, it sounds. Oh, so that's why you pointed out that Africa wants China as a daddy.
Well, no, it's not that they want it; it's already happening.
Um,
Like, believe me, I know.
why? Like whenever you go to South Africa to visit family, you start hearing Mandarin every now and then.
What?
uh, is the way that you're able to tell it's happening is that when you go visit South Africa, you start to hear Mandarin being spoken in the background.
No, but there are more and more like infrastructure projects that are done by Chinese workers. There are more Chinese people setting up a shop here and there. Um, yeah, and like it's a thing across not only South Africa. It's in if not if, if not all of Africa, definitely most.
Do you think that that sort of imperialism is going to impact the diamond export trade?
Mm, I
I
don't know.
mean, no, because
All
that's
depends on the country.
it's
The
so
country that
it's still a
has the
surprisingly lucrative business. Surprising after all these years for some reason.
oh yeah, diamonds are always going to be lucrative until they synthesize a harder element,
Mm.
which I think is synthesizable, but it's just easier to get diamonds. And until like we can create adamantium or some bullshit,
That'd be awesome.
where it works the best, like for drills and stuff, diamonds will definitely be used because you get saws that have like tiny bits of diamond in it. You get drills.
Mm.
So for a lot of like hardcore equipment, especially drills, you need diamonds.
So, right. So with China's modern imperialism in full swing, uh, do you think that will ever clash with Middle Eastern interests? I mean, to this day, they still hold the oil. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. China, like America, loves it some oil.
Well, no, you're not wrong. They're they're still trying to develop their country, even though it's pretty developed, but they're doing more and more and bigger and better. Um, and like they will look for sources where they can get just any resources, not only oil. Like I think a huge percentage of Australia's GDP is influenced by China's investment. They're importing a lot of Australian minerals.
Yeah, from what I hear, yeah, Australia's pretty rich in like copper and some other, right? What is it? Raw ores. But this,
I sent
but
you a video. I sent you a pretty decent video about China. Uh, when you have time, give it a a look. A look.
okay, I will. 1 hour. Okay.
On another topic, side note,
Mhm.
I got my first vaccine yesterday, so
How do
I'm
you
feeling.
feel?
I've been feeling groggy today, and the worst thing is, I went to my restoration job, um, and we had to like constantly load up wheelbarrows with mulch and take them to one place and back, and it's
That
just
sounds horrible.
I'm tired. Like
No, yeah, no. I got my second one 2 weeks ago, bro. I'm unkillable now. I'm immortal. I could survive a nuclear explosion. All right. the second one will it will hurt your soul, not your body, your soul.
you're basically a bipedal cockroach.
Right? They say I heard this line that insects by design seem to be God's favorite, right? Because they can walk on water. A lot of them can basically die and resurrect. A lot of them can fly. So all these biblical, like, they seem to be the favorites in creation.
Yeah.
I mean,
Imagine the world had a higher oxygen concentration.
get scorpions the size of dogs and stuff. Jesus.
Oh God.
That reminds me. What are your thoughts on the origin of the COVID-19 virus?
I mean, what do you mean?
All right, so there's only like what 6 or 7 level 5 labs in the world, right? Or level 4 labs, and everyone knows like these labs are so like well known across the world that like everyone knows where they are, all of them, and it just so happens that in Wuhan, the Chinese have their own level 4 lab where they it was also known that they were working on the exact 2 animals whose DNA they found in the COVID-19 virus. And when the SARS outbreak happened, the Chinese government found the cave where it came from within a week, right? But mysteriously, the COVID-19, they just can't figure out where in Wuhan it originated for some reason, right? So the question is like, is it obvious that there was a mistake? Like they literally, like someone messed up and they accidentally released something they were working on? I mean, I'm not saying it was a weapon. Like a lot of the times, labs will mess with viruses just to look at certain proteins if they're able to be biologically synthesized or something.
Look, if I want to go into conspiracy theorist mode, then
Yeah, please.
I'll definitely say, yeah, there's a huge possibility that happened. But if I'm like thinking rationally and professionally, then a wet market, which is the most like I'm 95% sure that it happened in a wet market. I'm almost 100% sure that it happened in a wet market because like all the animals are together in such a close proximity. They shit on each other, they piss on each other.
Yeah, but for this flu virus to have like these 3 factors, right? It has pangolin DNA, it has bat DNA, and they happen to be genetically reconfigured to be compatible with human cells. Because interspecies like virus hopping is exceedingly rare.
Well, I mean, shit, it's a wet market, so like things are able to happen. So
yeah, but if that were true, when this type of thing, like, come on, this virus would have to like jump through quite a bit of hoops to like survive
I'm
3
saying,
species.
Conspiracy theory me says I totally agree with you. I think there was a thing, but I think what's funny for me in general, like the world can believe that it was a wet market and China should definitely ban them because they are fucking disgusting, and they are r- just wrong because it's so many exotic animals that should not be in such close human contact, live especially. So like fresh meat right next to
Basically.
a live like infected bird or something.
Okay.
That's
Where
disgusting.
do you, where's the line of conspiracy and uh, plausible, is it deniability?
Plausible deniability is that within a certain block radius, there may have been a lab test, like a lab that's testing one or two or both of these subjects, and
So
like
it's coincidence that the virus just happens to have the DNA of the two animals we know for a fact were being experimented on in the lab.
yeah, maybe a researcher got careless
Okay.
and
Yeah.
didn't follow
Protocol.
100 protocol and
Yeah.
wanted to go for a axolotl burger or something.
Damn. Those little guys. They're pretty interesting axolotls actually. I heard that they're salamanders that have a genetic mutation that doesn't let them mature all the way, and that we know the gene that is responsible for salamander maturity. So if you can reactivate it, and they've done it on an axolotl, it will fully develop into a salamander. Uh, if you do that, it's kind of interesting. Fun fact, just throwing it out there. Little bio info.
Thanks.
We should come back to biology. We miss you. No, we had chemistry.
We
Didn't
had
we?
Bio 6B, right?
Oh, the professor. Damn it, he was easy. He was pretty cool because he was easy. Damn it. But yes, actually, now I remember now. Yeah, that's the class where Veronica was there and Alex and Shiva, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's like that was a lifetime ago. Right? Is time starting to hit you like do you think you'll have that existential crisis at some point?
Well, at the
Have you already
moment,
had it?
oh yeah, fuck yeah. At the moment, like my body is so broken.
So
Like,
so it's a breaking of the body and a breaking of the soul that happen in
yeah,
tandem.
for a long time, I just lived mainly for the next day. Didn't really have too long plans in the future,
Mm.
and part of it was simply because of my circumstances. Um, and like now, like with trying to return to work, after not working for such a long time, and also not working out for a long time, I I feel that my body just cannot handle it, and I don't know if I told you this, but I started seeing like doctors, a group of doctors, where I'm getting like physiotherapy once a week, uh, massage therapy every third week, acupuncture every third week, and osteopathy, osteopathy, osteopathy every
So
third week.
wait, you're going all out?
Yeah,
Because
dude. Like because the what the doctor said when she analyzed me was basically my like my body, the training I had was good for me to be able to do minimal stuff, but because my body is so used to being in a certain position, um it like breaks down and it uses certain muscles like that really want that really overcompensate for others and vice versa. So like I don't have just pain in my right side anymore. It's also in my left side because my left side is overcompensating for my right.
Holy shit. So basically, you're gonna turn into Captain America and become the example of a human specimen by the end of all this. Oh, that's the dream.
That's the dream.
Jeez. Okay. So this all started because you started to experience more pain than usual or more discomfort.
What? Sorry.
So you started.
The text that this girl is sending me is really weird. I mean, she said she was smoking weed. So I think that's like I just remembered that and that makes sense now because like I'm really confused.
You know, they say the mind is the first thing to go at a certain age.
Anyway. But yeah, what was your question?
Yeah, it's just so it was like an increased level of discomfort that kind of started you on this like heightened path towards wellness.
Yeah, I would say that. Like constant back aches and hip pains and just fatigue. And like because I wanted to start working out again, but the physiotherapist that I've been seeing, like this tomorrow will be my third session with him. He advised me against going for a run because he doesn't want me to use muscles that aren't like he's telling me to give it some more time because the treatments that I'm getting with the alignments of the osteopath and the muscle relaxation from acupuncture and massage therapy should be able to coax my body into like just relaxing certain tension in certain parts.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of tension, especially around my jaw.
Mhm.
Like it hinders full range of motion.
Bro, you sound like you just had a car accident. I see that a lot with car accidents, car accident patients. They have muscles that are just tense.
Oh yeah, no, but the thing is, for me, it's years of tension. Years.
So
I know a car accident is immediate trauma, and then your muscles get in this weird tension, but I'm used to it. And like last week, holy shit, like the physiotherapist was like prodding and poking me at certain points, and it hurt like a motherfucker.
okay.
Yeah, it hurt like a motherfucker, but it did help with my range of motion.
Okay, so it's the yeah, okay, yes, yeah, it's definitely then as you mentioned, it's just certain muscles that don't usually get used or just not used to being in motion.
Like I struggle lifting my right arm up. As you can see, like I'm tensing this part and my neck goes in like that.
Mhm.
because I'm using certain muscles incorrectly because they're tense, and because it's I guess my brain built up this specific way to move to do that specific motion, and that's how it be.
Well, that's how it be at the moment, but it sounds like it doesn't have to be. Sounds like there's definitely things you can do and are doing to make it be something else,
Yeah,
which is good.
I'm just saying that's how it's right now.
Currently be, yeah, that's how it currently be.
How I currently be.
The other day I saw this quote. Or two quotes. The first one was, um, "No enemy has been able to has been able to put a scar on my heart. The ones that are there were made by people who said they loved me." Right. And then this other one, by the great Liam Neeson. And I swear he has the best lines. He said, uh, "One day you catch yourself wishing the person you love the most never existed, just so you would be spared the pain of having known them." Um, Damn, yeah, no, both of those quotes just kind of sat with me or they've been to this just now. They're still sitting with me.
Can you say
to
it
this
again?
day. Yeah,
Can you go with it again?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, can you repeat the quote? I want to
Oh,
say
which
it
one?
like the Liam Neeson quote.
One day you'll catch yourself wishing the person you love the most never existed, just so you can be spared the pain of having known them.
I mean, I guess it depends. I guess it really depends because, like, I don't know. My my ex, she sent me a birthday present.
Okay.
Yeah, she sent me a birthday present, and like, yeah, it was lame items. It was socks, a candle, and a bar of soap. But she knows me as a non-materialistic person, and like the socks definitely from my favorite book, Hitchhiker's Guide. So it's
Nice.
I haven't opened them yet, but it's these socks with the planets like sticking their tongue out.
Nice.
Um, and then like the note she added to it was, um, it was short and sweet, but it maintained enough. Uh, I guess it had some good sentimental value. Um, and like I because at the moment she that quote like by Liam Neeson, that's definitely applicable to her, but all of maybe it might change as the years go by, but
Okay, has that ever come through though? Do things ever change as the years go by? Or do things just become more defined as the years go by?
I don't know. I think they do. There is a lot of change, uh, especially if you seek change. Um,
So you find what you're looking for. The confirmation bias, is that what you're saying?
Honestly, yeah, because sometimes if you're looking for something and you don't really have an idea what it is, you just wonder a bit, and like, sure, like most of the time you will find something. I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, you definitely are gonna find something, because there might be a time when you're like completely lost and you have no clue what is happening.
Mm.
But
I think those are the most interesting moments, I think, in life. Full of possibilities.
yeah, and like at the end of the day, I think there you will have people who will always definitely be there. Like I have people who will be there for me. And like maybe they're far, like my best friend, for example. I know like he can he would have my back.
Okay.
Yeah.
That gives you comfort.
Yeah.
Mm. Must be nice. Speaking of comfort, are you getting the PS5?
Not at the moment. No, maybe. Maybe in
Also, so you're a PlayStation person over Xbox.
yeah. Well, like Xbox 360 over PS3, but 100% PS4 over Xbox One.
Why, okay, why, if I may be so bold in questioning your judgment?
I guess there was slightly better things that were available with the Xbox 360, and then slightly better things with the PS4, because I've played both like PS3 and 360. For example, I enjoyed the performance a bit better on the 360, and I enjoyed the controllers a bit more. Oh no, a lot more. But then with the like the new controllers, it kind of leveled the playing field with the PS4, and also like just a better processing and stuff.
I would argue against all that uh, in terms of okay. So the most criticism, or the biggest criticism against Xbox is they're so new to the console space, that they don't really have any legacy games to pull from, except for Halo. That's the joke. Like, yeah, like that's the joke, right? Like, all you got is Halo. What
And Gears.
then? And Gears. Gears is awesome though. I like it. But the point is, Microsoft isn't buying these video game like development companies like Rare, and did they buy Bethesda? I believe they recently did, which is unfortunate. But the point being, what do you look for in a console? Like, do you just play it straight, like what they release for it? Do you ever try to, like, for example, hack it? Like what made, from in my opinion, what made like the PSP great was the fact that you could hack it. You can play Game Boy Advance games, PlayStation 1. You can download PSP games and play them for free if you just put in the extra effort. And the PS3 was that for its generation. Like, it was easier to hack, which means you had an open library of PS2 games, your PS3 games for free, right? Like, illegally downloaded. Like, the secret to a lot of things in life, the secret ingredient is a bit of crime, but you have this selection that you just wouldn't have in an Xbox in the same condition. And from what I understand, the 360 was never hacked. It's like super solid in its security, which on the one hand is good. No one steals your information, but it's bad because you can't do anything past what Microsoft lets you do. Which may or may not play a factor in people getting consoles, right?
Well, yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I didn't really look for that. Uh, I didn't really look for that when I had it. Honestly, I just like playing it. I think for me it was more of a nostalgia factor because I've never really been a hardcore gamer.
Mhm. Who has who has actually been a hardcore gamer and not just saying it, you know? I haven't met anyone who's legit, you know, there's a lot of people that say, yeah, man, I'm a hardcore gamer. I've been playing, I don't know, Tetris since it came out back in 1964. It's like you're only 5 years old though, like you weren't even around. But the point is, I don't think anyone has really been a hardcore gamer unless you know you legit owns a PC and just emulated the hell out of everything that came your way,
I
which would
know,
be
I know
expensive.
some people who are like hardcore
So
gamers.
they live and breathe Street Fighter 5 or
No,
something.
they they played a lot of games and they used to download games, crack games, hack certain stuff. Yeah.
You know, recently, um, I, I was starting to have like a little crisis of identity. Um, I had I saw they announced a game that got me interested. Like before this game was announced, I was not interested in the PlayStation 5 at all or
Mhm.
the Xbox. Like no, I wasn't interested in the next gen. Nothing called my attention. They announced this game called Guilty Gear Strive. It's a fighting game, 1v1. Um, but the point is it looked nice and it kind of reinvigorated my like interest in fighting games 1v1. Like 90% of my PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 collections are 1v1 fighting games.
Mhm.
um and you know, I dusted off the old PS3, the PlayStation 4, just to see, you know, they still worked. And I started to like play again. So my brother, who's like 13, um you know, he's also interested in fighting games, right? So we playing and he's destroying me, like completely crushing me. He's crushing my soul, like he's my will to live with how badly he's beating me, right? And um I was starting, you know, I had that moment where I was like, maybe I was never as good as I thought I was. Maybe it's just I just played people who sucked at these fighting games and I just thought I was good. Um, and as a last, like, you know, this I had planned. I wanted to play this game that I had started out just as a farewell to this passing interest again. I was like, you know, Marvel versus Capcom 2, you know, like just one playthrough should not hurt, right? Like even if I get beat, I'm doing this for the nostalgia. I played. It takes me a round to remember the controls, but it just came back, dog. Like everything, you know, like I had that moment of I don't know if you've had it's like a mix of nostalgia and experience just flooding back your muscle memory, your fingers remember the combo motions. You know, it was like Ultra Instinct Goku. I was like, oh my god, that's right. And it like it just felt like I was able to inhale again. You know, I was like, I came back to life. Like it got to the point where I chose random characters, you know, and I was like, all right, I'll choose random characters. Let's do this. My brother wasn't able to get past the first of my three random characters, you know,
Mhm.
and then everything else came back, and I was like, that's right. You know, there was once a glint of greatness. There was the kernel of truth in you know, like the past, the skill, the hours, you know, put into it. Um, it honestly, man, like I haven't felt like that. It was probably the mix of nostalgia and the beating that I was able to hand my brother after him having beat my ass in almost every single like game that we played that particular day. It was extremely satisfying and I don't know what the word is, refreshing. Or you ever have that refresh feeling like yeah, that's right. Like this is I'm home. This is my element. I am lord and master in this household.
Age of Empires 2 would definitely
Age
be
of Empires. So this is the coat you slip on, and you become yourself even more so than you already are.
really, because I've seen hardcore Age of Empires people play, and that intimidates me because I just like playing a relaxed game, and I feel like I can just enjoy myself when playing that game.
Enjoy yourself, giggity.
Uh-huh. But like I like I like sometimes playing um Call of Duty games because
Yeah.
I used to play a lot of Modern Warfare 2 back in the day. Uh, but now I've been playing Modern Warfare, but I haven't played PlayStation in a few weeks now. I turned it off. So yeah.
Is there a reason why you're distancing from it?
Yeah, the main reason was like I guess I just had a rude awakening. I got really seriously like I was already depressed because of COVID and stuff. And then my ex just randomly in the middle of the night told me that she was seeing someone else.
Why?
She informed me that she was seeing someone else. So like on the one hand, like maybe she cares about me to inform me, but on the other hand, definitely like she did not have to tell me. Like
That sounds like a dick move on her part.
I'm not gonna text her saying, "Hey yo, I'm seeing some other girl." That's weird. Um,
Okay, you don't feel like that was a direct insult? That okay, that felt very deliberate. It's like she wanted to slap you, but couldn't because of the distance, so she did the next best thing.
maybe,
Why?
maybe.
No, what is this the same one that sent you the gift of socks?
Yep.
Okay,
Honestly,
either she's not aware of like how mean that
to
is.
be fair, I was her first relationship.
Stop. All right, stop.
So
I'm gonna stop you right there. No, what is this nonsense? To be fair, to be, she tells you, she whips her dick out in front of you, slaps you with it, and you're still like, to be fair on her behalf.
well, yeah, because I did her wrong in the beginning of our relationship, and like, um,
Wrong does not, uh, does not excuse a response that is also in the same vein, good sir.
well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't really like as a thought of stoicism. I should not really care.
No,
And
stoicism isn't not caring. It's having the peace of mind to respond to the best of your ability. It's not
no,
inactivity. It's
I
it's
don't have
just
to. I don't have to respond
that's true.
to this.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like if it was a direct insult, which I highly doubt it was, um, then then That's on her conscience. I don't really care. I'm trying to, but I'm moving on with my life. I'm seeing someone else. Um, I'm trying to graduate. I'm moving away. There's a lot of
So it
stuff.
sounds to me like you're excusing her misbehavior, because that's what that is. With
Okay,
like, well, I'm doing so much better. It's not like she really matters anyway.
fuck,
You're
my
you're right. You're right in that regard. You're absolutely right. But at the same time, you gotta say, I mean, at what point do you draw the line with like, hey, cut that out? You can't talk to me like that. Like, I'm not angry. I have no ill will towards you, but you definitely can't talk to me like that. This is not permissible.
well, yeah, but honestly, I don't know what to say and don't know what
Mm.
to do, so I don't really care.
You
Um,
sound like an abused, emotionally abused person, man.
on that note, I don't wanna continue with this
Okay,
story anymore.
okay,
Because like I've I don't want to over rationalize it. I don't want to think about it. I
okay.
don't want to give it the time of day
Mm,
because I don't feel that it merits any of my thought.
okay.
Um, but also, like, the pad thai hit me, and I've been like running on fumes for the last few minutes.
No, I can
And
tell, man. You're seeing more like droopy, like it's your head. It looks like your head is heavy. Um, yeah, no. If you want to call it a night, that's fine. I understand. I'm grateful that you gave me the time of evening that you did. I love these chats. Like, I guess I'm just a conversation guy. Thank you for
yeah,
this,
definitely we should do it again sometime.
for
But
Shizzlemanism.
next time, next time, don't spring up on these heavy conversations like that because I like to, I guess, um, just be a bit not informed, but rather I like to be prepared.
Okay. Oh yeah. Hey, but remember, like, you gotta be like Muhammad Ali, like light on your feet, like or float like a butterfly, stick like a bee.
Uh-huh.
A man never goes looking for a fight, but he's always ready for one. You know, that's that's the
Indeed.
mod. That's the moral of today's Barney and Friends episode.
Indeed.
Amen.
Do you think I should work 28 hours for spring break week?
Um, I would say yes, unless you have the option to travel. Just because of COVID and lockdown, I just believe it's just better to keep like move as much as possible. But if it's either that or stay at home or go somewhere that's still close, then just work. Give yourself that padding of money for that time frame. It doesn't hurt. It helps.
With this girl, like we discussed, maybe like in spring break going camping overnight, or going up to Half Moon Bay. So
That sounds
uh,
awesome. Actually,
yeah,
if that's an option, bro, you go for it regardless of anything. That sounds like just a cool thing to do. Yeah.
yeah.
So the question isn't if, it's what to bring to this picnic.
Yeah. When gonna text her.
Yeah, man. The older I think I get, the more I realize that the age of adventure stops when you stop adventuring. You know,
It's when you start second guessing, like going out versus staying home or working, that your age of adventures is dangerously close to ending. Because that should never be the question. Unless you genuinely need the money, then that's just being responsible.
Like, I genuinely need the money,
Oh, well,
and I don't have the, I guess, the mode of transportation because I'm basically where you were a few years ago.
damn.
Where you have no car.
Nice.
Must
So-
be nice.
so you have to rely on charm and conversation to get places.
The worst thing is like, yeah, I have charm and I like having conversations, but as like you know that you know me, but
And I've seen.
I'm not I'm not too confident of a person,
Mhm.
and that really messes with me.
Yeah, like people can be really stupid but confident and get fairly far in their endeavors. Or smart and confident and get even further. But the point is, confidence does move mountains, you know, in a certain way.
Indeed.
Hey, that should be part of your wellness plan. Like, you know, all this osteopathy and then also some like cognitive therapy for confidence. Bro, you would be like Ubermensch, like by the time it's over.
Man,
Like,
It-
just,
like honestly, I think the easiest way to just build my confidence is, first of all, like this will be my last thought, and then I really want to go take a shower and then just pass out in bed. But
nice.
um, I think the best is like the the restoring my body, just getting that full range of motion so that I can finally go to the gym and stuff. Uh, like start spending money at the gym instead of just Uber Eats and shit. Um, because that does waste a lot of money. Um, um, and then because like I know when working out, I do tend to eat better food. I tend to want to buy groceries for myself and stuff, as well as with that boost of dopamine and stuff, like and like cleaning my room. I want to we like there's a bunch of things that it feels like dominoes, and as soon as the one falls, then it will all fall in place. But yeah, like I do this weekend. I have I got uh, emails from my health insurance about speaking to a psychiatrist, and I would like to schedule that as soon as possible. Even though this week I've been sitting on my ass and not doing it, but I would like to actually, first steps.
Well, if you ever get to the point of like hiking, feel free to invite me. I like hikes. I like
Yeah, sure.
trails and mountain stuff. Oh,
Honestly, come
Yeah.
through next weekend if you want. Not this weekend,
mhm.
but the weekend after finals. Um, like just come through whenever. And we can hike here at Upper Campus.
Okay, yeah, I'm down. What Monday, Sunday, Saturday? Which of the weekend days?
I'll let you know closer to the date.
Okay,
Probably probably on Sunday.
okay,
But
yeah, that
I'll
works.
let you know.
Hey, sounds like a plan. Sounds like a date.
All right.
All right, man.
Una fecha importante.
Una cita importante.
Isn't the fecha a date?
Fecha's date. Sita's like
Sita
it
is
says
an appointment.
it's an appointment, but it like when when a guy and a girl go out, they call it Sita more than Fecha.
I see. All right. Well, that's my Anglo brain for you. Well,
Keeps
all
things
right.
covered. All right, man. I will
Good
see
night.
you.